Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. I genuinely do. So if you saw my most recent upload, you'll know I was not in the best place mentally, physically, emotionally. And now, hopefully, it shows I'm doing a lot better. And before we dive into the topic of today's video, which you'll see from the title, I just need to let you know how grateful I am to every single one of you for all the messages of support, for all the comments, for all the kind words. Honestly, you got me through such a difficult patch of my life, and I'm back and I'm ready to record, and I've got a great idea for the channel that is pending. So we're looking to be uploading sort of ASAP now. And what I was hoping to do is just discuss that with you today. So thank you so much for being so kind and caring and been there through my more difficult moments rather than just abandoning me because I could not upload as much as I wanted to. I'm so grateful to every single one of you, and I feel like even though I haven't got that many subscribers, we're like a community, and I want to show my gratitude by putting this video out today and explaining the video series I want to bring to you. So hopefully you're going to really like it. So basically today's video is not scripted, it's kind of off the cuff if you like, and also my clicker's still not working. I left it turned on without turning the battery off, so I need to get a new battery and stuff. So I'll try and edit out when I've got to reach over and keep editing each shot, if you know what I mean. So yes, thank you so much. I did not just reach, but I surpassed 400 subscribers, and I am just so happy that you actually want to watch my content and that I'm helping and doing good things. So let me explain to you what I would like to bring to the table, because you've all been asking. We want videos on addiction. We want to know about your journey. We want to know about the ins and outs of it. Please help. Like, can you explore these topics? And I did do a video on drug-induced psychosis to kind of test the waters to see how it went. And it went good. It went good. And I feel like I have the confidence now and the trust in you that I can open up and describe more of my journey to be able to help people. So what I would advise is, if first of all, if you're triggered by addiction, maybe not watch this video, because I'm going to go into detail about what the series is going to entail, and that will be coming up very shortly. But if you are one of the people that wanted to see this kind of content, please watch through to the end, because I will explain everything. You'll know what to expect from this series, and you'll know what information to gather from it and what message I'm trying to get across, because I really want to help. Obviously, I lived and breathed addiction, and like I said in many videos before, it's cocaine and amphetamines that we will be talking about. So if that relates to you, or even like a family member in any way, or a friend, and you want to understand more, or you want to feel like someone can relate to you, then just watch this video through. I'll explain all, and then we'll get the series uploaded. So hopefully this can bring you some comfort and also show you how dedicated I am to this channel. So if you are new to this channel, don't mind the bandage. There's nothing dodgy going on. I have severe eczema. I went on I'll keep this brief, but I went on a course of medication. I think it was called like Dexedrine or something like that. I'll do a video in the future about my experiences with that. It's actually, it's to suppress your immune system to help with eczema, and it's actually given to people that are having organ transplants to stop them rejecting. And the medication did not agree with me at all. So my skin, surprisingly, is actually doing better. But I keep this bandage on so it's not as visible while it's healing up, and also so I'm not scratching at it either, so it keeps it covered so it can heal. So don't worry about that, and let's get on with the video. So you'll know from my previous post I was talking about doing a video, and I think in that video I said about explaining the difference between a cocaine and amphetamine high and come down, which is still exactly what I plan on doing. So don't worry, because I think that can be very useful and informative, hopefully. I really do. When I was writing the script and stuff, like I say, this video is unscripted, but when I'm doing like educational videos, I like to have a rough script, and I think it would be too lengthy, and I'd like to break it down into segments. So This will still happen, but let me talk you through what the 3 videos will be, because they're going to follow each other in a sequence. So I would advise that you watch them in order, and rather than just waiting a while to film all 3 and upload all 3 at once, I'm going to do like record number 1, upload, record number 2, upload, record number 3, upload. And also, I don't want to give you an exact date of when they'll get posted, because sometimes like things in life come into play, like if I have a skin flare up, or if like mental health issues and stuff. But I would say that the start of this series, so video number 1, should be within the next few days. And when I say few days, I don't mean that far off, because I am so passionate about this topic and I know everything I want to say. I could literally sit and record all 3 videos today, but I want to wear different outfits and give myself some breathing space in between. So here is what the 3 videos will consist of, and I will talk you through and give you a full explanation, and hopefully this can prove useful and you're excited for the content. So basically, to walk you through it, video number 1 will be the difference between a cocaine and amphetamine high. And that is that. So not worrying about the come down yet, just the high itself. So that will involve how it can be ingested. So I'm just going to plump my hair up a bit. It's not looking that great. How it's ingested, how long it would take to kick in, all that kind of stuff. Also, how the initial feeling was. So like why people might take that drug in the first place, how it feels. But do not get this mistaken, I am not glamorizing the use of either of these substances in any way, shape or form. They both destroyed my life. I was addicted to both separately, and they both tore down my life in different ways. And I want to make that clear to people. But also, there is a reason why people use in the first place. So I want to explain the initial high, and then also how the journey continues to basically end in destruction. And that is the format of the first video. So just to kind of elaborate on this a little bit without giving too much away, because it'll all be in the videos, is because I was addicted, I was not a recreational user. I could not just take it and then leave it. So this is more for people that are suffering with addiction, or maybe find themselves moving from recreational use to starting to feel addicted. Or really, it can be for anyone that's just worried about substances, whether I say like if that's for themselves or a family member or a friend. I just want it to be informative. So my journey involves substance binges that lasted sort of between 3 to 10 days. So it's basically a walkthrough of from when you take your first bit to the end of a 10-day journey, and what state that leaves you in, because it's important to be honest and upfront about this, because it always ended horrendously. I'm talking hospital admissions, some bad stuff going on, psychosis, all that kind of stuff. So that is the aim for video number 1, is the pure difference between the high of both substances, and to walk you through that journey. Okie dokie. And then we've got video number 2, which will follow quite soon after. I'm not planning on leaving big gaps in between uploading. I can't say like, oh, it'll be the next day or whatever, but it'll be soon, because I've got my passion and my motivation, which hopefully comes across in this video. So video number 2 of the 3-part series will be the difference between a cocaine and amphetamine come down. Now, I cannot downplay the come downs in any way, shape or form. Both were horrendous, but in very different ways, and they were very different journeys to go through. And they, sometimes to me, a come down, or the thought of a come down, was worse than death. And I, even from early use, before I became fully addicted to either of them, I always struggled with the come downs, even from the start. It's not like I could just sleep it off and then be okay again. We're talking like a long-term dedication to getting back on track, and it really wasn't good. So I want to be brutally honest in video number 2 about what to expect from both come downs from both substances. Like I say, they varied. So with both substances, there were a different kind of come down and a different length and a different intensity. So I can literally, the same again, I want to just walk you through from when you take your last bit and it's time to come down off it, to when you start to feel like yourself again, what to expect. And this is all my own personal experience. So for you, it may be different. You may find it easy, you may find it harder, but I always found the time when I was using and the time when I'd come down off both of them extremely difficult. My body and brain didn't like them. Even though I craved stimulants so badly, my body and brain were like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? What do we do with this? I don't know what to do. And it was a scary time. And then when you reach the end of your use and you know what's going to hit, or even if you don't know, like, if I can show you in this video what to expect, it can either maybe put you off using in the first place, because you'll realize when you compare the two videos, so not worth it for what you get compared to what you have to go through. Not worth it. I wish I could have told myself that back in the time I was addicted. And also, if you're going through that journey yourself, you can sort of watch the video and understand what to expect and be a bit more prepared, because on an intensity level, we're talking like way up here. But don't let that frighten you, because listen to video number 3 of the series, because hopefully this is what's going to really help. Okay, so the third and final video of the series, because you might be thinking, well, it's all very well and good talking about the high and the come downs, but how does that really help? Like I say, I want to relate and I want people to be able to understand and educate too. So that's why I want to do them too. But the final one is going to be purely how to get through a stimulant withdrawal, because I've got a lot of experience in the past of going through this, and I've had to develop techniques that work. I mean, there's been times when I've been really unwell from it, like mentally, and really struggled to get through it. So if I'd have like a relapse, for example, I'd have to think like, right, how the hell am I going to get through this? So some of the tips will be a bit unconventional. They won't be maybe what you'll see in other YouTube videos. I mean, I've watched YouTube videos in the past to help me out back when I was using and when I come down and felt so alone and afraid. But I want to be that person now that can help you. This is nothing to do with judgment. I do not judge. My channel is nothing to do with judging. My channel is to do with helping and being here for you, the same as you're here for me. So we'll be talking through several tips that you can use if you find that you've either used or relapsed and you've got a come down to phase and you don't know how to get through it. So hopefully them 3 ideas appeal to you, because they're already in motion with scripts written and stuff, so it will be getting posted on the channel. So fingers crossed it's what you want to see, because I've taken on board the advice and stuff, and this seems like it could be a good series and maybe change some lives. So just a little bit of additional information to add before we wrap up the video really is, you might be wondering how long I have been clean from these substances for. So I'm just going to be completely honest. So cocaine has been just over 3.5 years. So when it was June of this year, that was 3 years, and we're in August or September. So it's like, what, 3 years and 3 months, something like that. And also amphetamines. So unfortunately, it's not been as long, because that was my secondary addiction. So what I did is I stopped my full-on addiction in the early stages of 2019. I'm just going to be completely honest with you here, because what's the point in lying? Like, you need me to be authentic for me to help. And yes, I've had some relapses. When I stopped cocaine, I stopped completely, and I've never really had any temptation to go back, which I will explain in the series why it was such a pointless drug. Both of them are pointless. But with amphetamines, it's been just a little over 6 months since my last relapse. So what happened is I got clean in 2019. Hey, that rhymes. And then maybe every so often, like maybe twice a year from there, I'd have a little blip. I call it a blip because I never fully went back to it. So I'd have like a binge session, maybe like twice in a year, and I'd be horrified about it, and the amount of effort it took to get back out of it, but I did. That's why I call it a blip. And the last time I touched it at all was probably, well, definitely over 6 months ago, but maybe not too much longer than that. So we're talking maybe the start of this year. So that could be 7 or 8 months now. And before that, there was quite a long time before my last blip. So I feel I'm in a position now where I've left it all alone long enough and have the strong enough mindset to never go back, because trust me, I never ever want to go back. And I've faced some very difficult challenges recently and I haven't even considered it. So I feel I can now talk without hypocrisy. But to be honest, even if I did have a relapse, I'd either let you know on the channel and just be upfront with you that that's what I was going through, or still let you know and post this video anyway. But no, I've been clean for quite some time from both, and there's your honesty in case you're wondering about time frames. If you want actual dates of when I got clean off both, like my last usages, I can also get that for you. Like I say, 100% honesty. So hopefully I can offer you some hope as well. If you, I mean, let me be honest, my addictions to both were so severe. They both took over my life and destroyed every single aspect, and I just could not see past it. I thought that's how I was going to die both times. I thought, how has it happened twice? And both times I thought this will be the end. And I managed to get clean, and I am happy and healthy, and now I have a really good life, a really fulfilling life, and it's so possible, but you need the right support and the right advice, and I'm hopefully here to offer you that hope. And you can always leave me a message if you've got any personal questions too. It's so possible, but you need the right support and the right advice, and I'm hopefully here to offer you that hope. And you can always leave me a message if you've got any personal questions too. So that is the 3-part video series, and I really hope that appeals to you, and it will be uploaded ASAP. And I truly mean that. I'm getting back into the swing of it. I'm really enjoying filming today. Hopefully I look happy and healthy, because I feel happy and healthy, genuinely. It's like, woo. So there's 2 things I want to say just before you go. So the first one is, thank you so much for every single message of support and like kindness. Just I mentioned this at the start, but what I need to say is I will be taking the time either today or tomorrow, because I do have some plans later, so I will try and do it today to respond to every single message. And please know I read every single message. You know, when you're that depressed, you can't even bring yourself to reply, but it's still, when you read something that offers support, it like fills your heart with a bit of joy and gives you a little bit of an uplift. Every single message and everything has made me feel that way, and I literally lied out like a tear rolling down my eye, but like a happy tear of how supportive people were being. So trust me, I will get back to it. I won't just put a heart on it and leave it at that. I will respond properly to everybody, and thank you so much, and you mean the whole world to me. And then my final point, and then I promise I'll go and get on with filming this series. Okay, my final point to make is, if this series proves popular and helpful, like, you please comment once it's released, or even on this video, just let me know what you think. If there's anything you want me to like add into this, I can do that if you just leave a comment, or if you've got any questions now, I can answer that too. But also, if this does prove helpful, when I recovered, I was actually working with addiction counsellors, and it was invaluable how much they helped me. They changed my mindset. They made me want to get clean. They made me want to grasp life with both hands again, and that is the truth. But then once you get to a certain point, you discharge from the services, it's like, right, what do I do now? Because I need to stay safe, because I knew I never wanted to go back. So what I did, and this really helped me, it wasn't advised to me, it was something I actually came up with on my own, is I got my laptop and I typed it up, because I like writing and typing, and I wrote up something called my Relapse Prevention Handbook. So let me just very briefly talk you through this concept before we end the video on hopefully a happy note. So the Relapse Prevention Handbook is just ideas that I gathered myself and also through a bit of research as well about, it's basically a document I put together about anything and everything I could use to keep me away from going back to that lifestyle. So within there, just a couple of examples, and I would like to share these ideas in a future video if it's something you want to see. So let me know. So I can see one up there. It's pinned up to my wall, and it's also saved on my laptop. Is a letter that I wrote to myself during a very, very difficult blip I had, and we're talking a few years back now, and it really turned my life upside down. Even for a brief amount of use, like I wasn't using for that many days, I didn't take that much, it really messed me up. And I wrote a letter while I was in the early stages, so while I was probably still under the influence, well, I will have been under the influence, but coming off it, about all the terrible, terrible things that had happened and exactly how I felt. The truth, nothing held back in this letter. And it's like, if I'm ever tempted to go back, just read that and think, no, 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 no. And I could potentially read that out to you in a video so you can hear, if you want to, the gory details of why I don't go back. So that's an idea for a future video. Let me know what you think. And also, and I think this could be proper useful, is so when I'd struggle with cravings, the problem was there was always a different trigger. It wasn't the same thing every time. So just to throw a few examples out there, anyone that's struggling with addiction, you'll have your own trigger. So it could be either to numb myself from emotional pain, which is a common one. Oh, it could be to give me more energy, even though it's false energy, to get more tasks and things completed if I was really tired and falling behind. It could even be if I was feeling bloated and wanted to lose weight. There was dozens and dozens and dozens of different triggers. And I literally sat down and wrote them all out to myself. Anything that could occur that might be a reason for me to go back. And then I'd write a resolution, like what's it called? Like a way to solve each trigger in a healthy and well thought out way. So what I thought is, because like I said, I've got dozens and dozens. I could maybe start out with a video in the future if you want to see this, and it'll be called like tips to avoid a relapse or something like that. And I could start off with maybe 5 examples of most common cravings and triggers and stuff, and then my personal solutions to how I would get through that craving without relapsing or going back to it. So productive steps I would take to solve the issue rather than go back to substances. Now, I think I said this about the kind of content I'll be putting out now with the 3-part video series, but let me reiterate this for if you want to see the cravings tips and relapse prevention tips as well, because it's everything I do on my channel is my own ideas. I don't like go on Google or YouTube and try to copy anyone else. This is all from my own experience. So what I will say is, if you do struggle with these substances or you know anyone else that does, I'm talking about what I've been through and how I've coped. I can't speak for anyone else, so I'm really hoping it helps you relate. And you can read tips online and stuff, but what I say will be tailor-made to me. But I think that's really authentic and a good way to go about it, because why would I just want to copy what someone else has said? I want to talk about what's true to the journeys I've been on. And another thing, one day in the future, when I've got some actual editing software, I use iMovie right now and it's great and it really helps. But when I do my 2 videos on the addictions themselves that I went through, rather than just tips and like talking about the high and the come down, one day I'll talk in detail about exactly what I went through, and I will show you videos and pictures. And yes, it might be graphic, I might have to age restrict it, I shouldn't have to do that with this series. That is upcoming for the future. And you will also learn how I lost my right eye. And just a little teaser to throw in there, because I haven't, you know about my false eye on the channel, but you don't know the story behind it yet. Yes, it was to do with drugs, but it's very, very complicated. And one day I will dedicate a video explaining everything. So for now, that is the 3-part video series pending, and we're talking within the next few days if you're happy with that. And then in the future, we've got more content we can do on addiction, as well as a lot of various other video ideas I have. So hopefully you can tell I've got my mojo back. I'm so excited to be posting this today. I hope I look all right, like I've done my best to look presentable, and I just love you all so much. And when I edit this, I hope it all comes together nicely. So I hope you watch through to the end so you know what to expect from my upcoming uploads. Yeah, that's right. And love you all, and take care of yourselves, and ciao for now.